Hello and welcome to Trish Rock TV and Energy Shift, changing energy, shifting perceptions. I'm Trish Rock, your abundance identity coach and mentor. In this episode of Trish Rock TV, I'm talking with the truly inspiring and gorgeous Karen Chaston. Karen is the co-founder of Live Love by Design. As a beyond loss life coach, Karen knows that in every tragic life event, there is a gift just waiting to be unwrapped. This is not an easy concept to embrace, though with Karen's mastery, you can design a life where you live and love each and every day. Love who you are, have meaningful relationships, and fulfill all your dreams in every area of your life. You'll matter, you'll be memorable, and you'll create magic. And Karen is really thriving in life right now, and in the 4 pillars, all about you, all about your relationships, all about your wealth and creation. And she knows that she's exactly where she's meant to be, and that her requirements to live an abundant, joyous, fulfilled life will always be fulfilled. The more Karen thrives, the more everyone who crosses her path also thrives, providing they're willing to take the action steps that assist them to close the gap from where they are today to where they would like to be. It is such a pleasure to have you here on the show. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you, Trish. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, it's amazing.
And I love everything about you. So good on you. Not easy to step out like you have.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Karen, how did you go, just so people know your story, how did you go from being a CFO of a publicly listed company to a Live Love by Design beyond loss life coach? It was a big transition for you.
Yeah, completely. I was sort of more into my right brain than my left brain. Obviously, as a CFO, I was very much into my left brain. But I was also very masculine. I wouldn't have worn colour. I was very much into my black and very much into the corporate sort of world that we see women. And I didn't even realise at that stage just how diseased I actually was, how unhealthy I was. I knew I had bad habits. You know, I was eating too much, drinking too much, working way too much.
Yeah.
But then, as life does, it sort of sends you a couple of events to sort of course correct you, I guess is the easiest way to say it. And unfortunately, my first event came in the form of my husband and I waking up on Sunday, the 10th of July, 2011, to actually find that one of our sons, our youngest son by a minute, because he was a twin, Dan, had passed away at our back door.
Yeah. That's devastating. Devastating.
It is devastating. You know, we all, even though we don't have an expiry date on our birth certificate, we do expect to pass in order of our age, don't we, on order of our birth.
Absolutely.
And it's just tragic when you lose a child. And so much so that I didn't know how to be a grieving mother, didn't want to be a grieving mother. So I literally went straight back to work after his funeral.
Wow, it's kind of blocking it all.
It was blocking it. I knew how to do, you know, my CFO duties and everything. That was meant to be my wake-up call. And I know it was meant to put me into a situation where I just stopped. You know, when you actually stop and you take that beautiful, conscious, loving breath, that sort of brings you back and really connects you to your intuition and to your wisdom and your knowing. Yeah. And it took me 18 months to do that. And I had to be made redundant in order for me to do that, because otherwise I was just on I like to call it the Groundhog Day days, where I was just living every day the same. And it wasn't even living. And sure, I was earning great money, but you know what? I was wasting so much of it just to get through the day, just
Definitely.
yeah, survive. I was truly in survival.
In
And
survival mode, yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, if you hadn't have got made redundant, your body would have eventually failed.
yes, and that's why I say that Dan's passing literally saved my life.
Yeah,
Because I know that I was on the road to either a heart attack, stroke,
yeah,
type 2 diabetes, possibly even death.
yeah,
And because that's what we do. We,
yeah,
especially women, we just keep going and going, but we're putting
absolutely.
ourselves last. We're not looking after ourselves. And I was definitely living to the old adage, which was I spent my health to get my wealth.
Yeah,
And now I'm spending my wealth to get back my health.
I love it. I love it. And the thing is, even before Dan died, you were on that course.
Oh, totally.
You
I
weren't
was on that
living
course.
then. Yeah, yeah,
Also, and since his passing, and since me, leaving work and stopping, as I said,
yeah,
I really have come to a knowing that it's been a gift. It
yeah,
truly has been a gift with everything that has happened to me. The new awareness, the new wisdom that I have a completely different perspective on most things.
yeah,
I'm more open to different things. Dan and I have a great relationship, and sure, he's on the other side, and sure, I would love him here physically,
yeah.
but that's not possible. So we've got a really great relationships, which is why I said I co-founded Live Love by Design, because he's the other co-founder.
He's the other co-founder, and you have to build that new relationship. And I work with clients with this as well, and I've done it in myself. I've got a better relationship now with my mum in spirit than we had in the physical, and it is a relationship, even though they're not visible. It's just on a different level because we're all the same. We're all the same energy. We can still connect. I like to I like to help people try to connect by saying, look, well, what if that loved one was in another room and you just couldn't see them? Energetically, you still are connected to them. But when we can't see them and they've left the physical, we seem to cut that connection off. So, to have that connection again has been brilliant for you in many ways, including the business, but it's also allowed you, I mean, it was by no accident that you got made redundant.
No, I know that. And as you said, I also know that if I hadn't listened then, there would have been another tragic, and it would have kept coming.
It would
Um,
have kept coming,
but
absolutely. And, Dan's guiding you there. Yeah, which is brilliant. So, um,
thank you.
yeah. So, what's been the biggest lesson on your journey? I know that Dan's death has been a big lesson, but it kind of set off a series of
Oh,
others.
definitely.
Yeah,
There's so many lessons, but the first one is you have to come back to you.
yeah,
Like, I had drifted so far away from who I truly am.
yeah,
And I was even starting to drift away from some of my values. There was some things that were happening in the workplace, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to this, is when they make a decision that you are ethically not aligned with and you accept it, and then it slowly chips away at who you are the more you sort of accept something. Sure, you might speak up, but then it's like, well, this is the way we're doing it, sort of thing. And then you really start to realize, as when you do that big stop and truly look at who you are and where you are and also where you want to be, you start to realize that that wasn't me.
yeah,
And sure, a lot of people looked at me and said, wow, she's successful, she's got the job, the salary, the car, the house, the trips, all of that. But
mm,
I just know that I wasn't. I had this constant drum inside of me that was beating, sort of saying, surely there must be an easier way to achieve at this level. Surely there must be an easier way that you don't have to depart from who you are. So
Yeah.
the lesson that when I started to come back to me, and I call it my journey back to becoming my own best friend.
Yeah.
Which is so important, because you think about how you treat your best friend, and then you think about the way you treat yourself.
It's terrible, isn't it?
It is. And even the way you talk to yourself, like, seriously, if you said that to your best friend, they wouldn't be friends with you for very long.
Absolutely. And when you start dying on the inside because, your life on the outside is not matching who you are, that voice ramps up. And
it totally ramps up. But and that's another thing that I learned along the way, is to start to trust that voice.
Yeah.
Not to frighten it, but start to listen to it. Start to truly listen to the words that are coming at you, because the words are your reflection. And realizing that, especially like our generation, the English that we were taught was very, what's the word I'm looking for? It was very sort of necessity. No, not necessity. It's the opposite. It was very much pulling you down, and necessity language.
It's control. It's control.
Yeah, it was control. And even the way you speak, like, I have to do this. The little words that you use, it was very much necessity. Whereas if you change the language and come into possibility, it's completely different. The whole energy in what you say, the whole energy in what you feel, and the way you're talking to yourself really is different. Like, it's just from saying you have to do this to I may choose to do this. So there's no necessity in that, but you have the same result. But because it's like, I have to do this, really drags you down. Whereas you think, well, I may choose to do this. It may be in my best interest to do this. Absolutely. Then you analyze it more, and you go, yes, it is. So along the way, I have learned to trust who I am.
Yeah.
Trust my inner wisdom, and I know a lot of it comes from Dan, and I give Dan the credit, but I know it comes from all of my guides. And it's so funny. I had a conversation once with a lady, and she said, your dad gets really angry at you, because he's on the other side, because you give Dan all the credit. Ideas in your head as well. So
favoritism.
Yeah, exactly. And like, Dan, Dad, they're more or less the same word sort of thing. But that it's all of your guides and all of your loved ones who are in total love now. So they're different to who they were when they were here.
Yeah.
And you just, even though they wanted the best for you when they were here, it's even more so, because they can see the road ahead that we can't see. So I think I know that Dan and Dad plant ideas in my head all the time. And
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And the thing though is, when people are here, your loved ones are here in the physical guiding you, that guidance also comes with all of their stuff behind it. When they're in spirit guiding you, it's pure love energy. And and I think, you're just more open. I think you were getting guidance before that. You're very open to it now, and not sticking to those rules that we get taught in society to buckle down, toe the line, you have to do this, you have to do that, and even if it kills you, and you have to work hard and all the rest of it. And, a lot of those rules are still ingrained in us. I mean, yesterday and today I've had the opportunity to kind of chill a little bit and just sit in the sun, but you know what goes through my head? Oh, you're being so lazy. Get up and do something, right? Because we're geared to just work and work. You won't be successful if you don't work hard. But I'm trying to shift that in me, and you've certainly shifted that in you, and you understand that it's not the hard work, it's doing the work that you love, because then it doesn't feel like work.
I totally agree. But also the fact that we're human beings.
Yes,
not human doings. And it's
absolutely.
being that we actually have time to look at what we're doing and going, is this actually the best route? Is this where I really want to go? Is there
Mm.
another possibility that may be better for me? Is there something else I need to learn, or is there something I need to heal? It's in
Yeah.
those quiet times that you actually get to, it's
You
like
get
checking, isn't it?
you get the answers, you absolutely do. And when you're just soldiering on through it all, you don't get the answers, but that feeling of dying inside is your soul, your spirit kind of, please listen to me, please listen to me. And,
Totally.
it just doesn't work. So we've heard a little bit about the co-founder of Live
Yes.
Love by Design. Tell us a little bit more about that, because you started this company after you left corporate.
Yeah, after I left corporate, and I started initially down the track of thinking that even though it wasn't called Live Love by Design then, I was starting to think that I really wanted to help women in corporate who were just like me,
Yeah.
who just needed some tools to help balance their life. And I know balance is an overused word, but it's just to bring all areas of your life so that they're flowing easily
Yeah.
between each other, so that when you are at home, you're at home. When you're at work, you're at work, and so that you're actually always present. But then it just didn't grow as much as I would have liked it to.
Mm.
And I found that, and I was told this very early on, and I didn't listen, but I also think it was probably too early in my healing, grieving journey after Dan passing. I was told that, I would be really good to help people who have had a major loss,
Yeah.
whether it's a loved one or a marriage or, financial or partnership, and anything that's a loss.
Mm.
And I sort of like pushed it to the side, and I just went, no, I don't really want to be around those people. They're too sad. But then I started to realize, as obviously I healed more and more, and Dan and I created Live Love by Design, that I started to realize that, they are the perfect people for me to work with. And I also realized that I just didn't want to work with corporate women. They're just too hard.
They're too
And
hard, and for a lot of them, as you know, when you're in it, you don't see the other opinion, you don't see the other alternative until there is a loss. So it's actually perfect that,
yes,
and eventually you will be working with, those women
probably.
anyway.
But maybe with the women. But you know what I found is, and I also realised, which I wish I had realised a couple of years earlier, but
Mm.
I'm not even going to go into that, because we're always exactly where we're meant to be.
Yeah.
I just felt I would never have listened to me
No.
when I was in that space, even though I have these great tools that work and these great ways of actually helping you to still achieve at that high level, which
Yeah.
was my constant, I've got to find a way. It's when I had that realization, I went, holy hell, no wonder my business hasn't grown. It was never going to grow as long as I was focusing on the wrong problems to solve.
Yeah.
But once I sort of switched, and I realized it really is about helping people to see loss as a gift.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, as I said, it's not an easy scenario. So I've got the acronym for gift. So would you like me to share that?
Yes, please. Yes.
Thank you. The easiest way that you can actually come and learn how to live and love your life is to follow these 4 steps. And the first one is gratitude. You've got to come into gratitude.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say got to. It's ideal for you to come into gratitude. The more you start to see the benefits and everything that you have to be grateful for in your life, the more you will realize how much you have to be grateful in your life, even if you start small. But then you'll start to realize what this loss has given you. Okay? And it may be as simple as, say it's a marriage breakdown. it maybe is, and you might be really angry with your ex. He did the dirty on you, and you really, there's no way I would ever be grateful to him. But just something as simple, he's given me an opportunity to grow on my own, to become independent, to have these one-to-ones with my children. Now, a friend of mine, their marriage broke down not so long ago, and she was really angry at them. And then she was talking to me, and they have 5 children, and she was talking to me, and she actually said that, and her kids are like, you know, late teens, early 20s. And she said, you know, we hang around most Friday nights, all of us together. They don't go out because we have all these fun times and this and that and everything. And I sort of went, oh, it's such a shame your ex is missing out on that. Then I thought, if he'd been around, they wouldn't be doing that.
No, they wouldn't.
An extra person in the scenario, as we know, everything would change.
Yeah.
So there's always something to be grateful for. And then the next one is I. So I in gift. And that is the impact. You get to choose what impact this loss has on your life. Now, most people don't get this. They think, oh my God, it's devastating, I'm going down, and I don't think I'll be able to come up. I'm going to suffer for so long. Now, grieving doesn't mean suffering.
No, and it is a choice. It is a choice.
It is. Now, grieving is a process, whether it's a loved one you're grieving or a marriage or a job, whatever you're grieving, there is a process. It's your process, no one else's. So the impact that this has on you really does come down to you. And a lot of people don't realize that. They don't think I have a choice here.
No, they don't, and it's the old way of thinking, isn't it? I remember when my mum passed away, I was so happy for her because it was the end of her suffering.
Yeah.
And you know, you can't really express that around everybody else who's devastated, right?
I was saying my dad.
Yeah.
But I did express it, even though I was still very much in my corporate, because he passed in 2003.
Right.
So that was 8 years before Dan. And I have to say, he had a stroke 7 years earlier, and he just dwindled down to nothing, to eventually that he was just a vegetable and like not even moving or anything. So when he passed, I was pleased for him.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't.
And there's still the grieving though, but as you say, it's a choice. So I you know, you and I were still grieving for our dad and mum, but it wasn't devastating. We chose to grieve in a different way, and everybody has that choice. And I think you know, when it comes to your own children, I haven't been through it, so I just don't know. Although I have lost a couple of grandchildren, but that's a different story. But it still is I think when you say that to people, do they think that you're saying you can choose to be happy, or do they understand that they have a choice in how they grieve?
They understand how they grieve.
Yeah.
But they also do have a choice to be happy. They can choose on a day for 1 hour, I'm going to put this grieving aside and I'm going to sit and watch a comedy. Because laughter is the best medicine. Like that saying has been around forever. Yes. And as we know, when we laugh, we bring all of these beautiful hormones into our body, oxytocin, serotonin, all of these amazing things that make you feel good. Yeah. So even if you sat by yourself for an hour and watched the comedy, and I have to say, we did this after Dan passed in that first week. And it did make you feel good for that time. Yeah. Sure, we didn't watch it all day long, but it certainly does. And do you know what? They'd be there with you laughing as well. It
just kind of breaks the routine of grieving, doesn't it? And do you also feel that remembering the joy and the memories of that person help as well?
Yes. Totally. Which brings me into the fourth one in gift, which is F. Now, F is forgiveness. Now, a lot of part of grieving is that we haven't forgiven. We've done something or we didn't say something. So we've got to forgive ourselves as well as them.
Yeah.
You know, we may have been upset with them the last time we saw them before they passed, may have been, you know, not as ideal. Like, let's face it, if you knew this was the last time, it would be a completely different interaction.
Absolutely.
And it's, oh, well, I'll see you tomorrow, or I'll see you later tonight, or, you know, anything like that. But that's in anything, though. So there will be forgiveness for every sort of loss. Forgiveness for yourself is the most important forgiveness you can ever give.
Absolutely.
And radical forgiveness is what I just love too.
Yes.
Realizing that no one does anything to you, they do it for you.
Yes.
So if it is, say, a marriage broke down, you know, and you're going, oh my God, he did this to me, and it's yada, 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 yada. And a lot of people live in that for 20, 30 years. Like,
Yes.
I've been to weddings of, you know, my friends' kids, their ex there, they've been broken up for 30 years and they still can't talk to each other.
No, they're still focused on that one moment. And there's another million moments they could be focused on.
And you thought, even if you just do it for your kids, can't you just be simple and nice? And I just find it incredible. So coming to that forgiveness is really important. And then once, so you've got the gratitude, you've got the impact, and then the forgiveness. Once you really get into them and work on them, then it brings us to the T. And the T is about thriving.
Yeah.
Every human being, our first derivative is to survive.
Yeah.
Our second derivative is to thrive. Now, the majority of the population gets stuck in survival and they never learn how to thrive.
No.
So they're stuck in the situation, or they're stuck in what they don't have, or they're stuck in that because they haven't done those first three things. Yeah. But once you start to go into them, and then you can go into thriving, because then you can say, okay, this is where I am today, and that's where I want to be. So how do I close that gap?
Yes.
What action steps do I need to take to actually close that gap? And not only in one area of your life, but all areas of your life. And that's where I come in and I assist people to go through that gift process.
Yes.
Because the more they go through it, the more they realise that, you know what, they're doing all right. They're doing probably better than a lot of other people. And so what have they got? What have they got to be angry about? What have they got to hold all this resentment and all of this, you know, all these negative feelings? Why not release them?
It's really taking their power back, isn't it? Really empowering them to understand they've got a different choice. Yes, something has happened. Now you can choose to stay in that or move this way and start living and thriving. Yeah.
If you do it for no other reason, do it for your health. Because when you're living in those negative energies, that's how cancers start. That's how your cells start to change. And that's how you'll end up getting sick, and you'll end up getting all these other things. So if you do it for no other reason, do it for the fact that you want to live. Like, I want to live for at least another 30 years. So
absolutely, and the body will tell you when it needs change. And the other thing I just want to add here is that our loved ones that have passed don't want us to be sad. They don't want us to be feeling that way. They don't want us to be grieving. They just want us to be happy. So, you know, if you are, because a lot of people will stay in grief because of the guilt, or they haven't forgiven, or they're in remorse or regret. It's like, well, I need to stay in this grief because it's my penance for not doing blah, blah, blah. But that's not how they are in the spirit world. They're pure love, and they just want us to shine. And so really you're doing it for the loved one that's passed too.
Of course. All they want is for you to fulfill your life purpose.
Yes.
Okay. And that's one of the things that Dan's passing really highlighted to me.
Yeah.
And I was around 55 when I realised this, and I was pretty surprised it took me that long to figure it out.
Were you spiritual like before that? And
I was, even though I was into my accounting and, you know, and obviously that side of my brain, I always was spiritual. Like, I think I went to my first clairvoyant like when I was like 20, 21.
Oh, okay.
So I always had an interest in, I knew there was more to it.
Okay.
Now, I was brought up Catholic, and I just knew that was not right.
Yeah.
So I was, and my father was very much a Catholic, like he was full on. So much so that after he passed, he actually came back and apologised to me and said he got it wrong. So, which I really loved.
Yes.
And, but more than that was what Dan's passing taught me was, you are the only person you are going to spend your entire life with.
Yes.
Now let's think about that. How many times do we give up on our dreams? Do we put ourselves last? Do we say yes when we should be saying no?
Yeah.
And a lot of the time when we say yes to others, we are saying no to ourselves.
Absolutely. And then being angry about it and stewing about it. Yeah.
So that's what Dan's passing really taught me. Now, that's not saying that I am egotistical or saying, well, I'm putting myself first and that's it. Yeah. No, but the more I do put myself first, the more everyone around me receives the benefits, and they also get the acknowledgement that they should be putting themselves first.
And they get the best version of you, which is really a great honour and respect of yourself and everybody else, I feel, to give everybody the best version of you. And that on an energetic level heals everybody around you and lifts everyone. But absolutely what you said you're thriving right now is, you know, by being that full version of yourself, everybody benefits, and it's true. And even on an energetic universal level, everybody's benefiting too. Yeah.
Oh, totally. And that's the thing that I wish that I really did have when I was in my 20s.
Yes.
Because I did put me last a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And my health, you know, did suffer, and I gained a lot of weight and all those sort of things. If I had realised that younger, it would have been, I think my life would have been more fulfilling, not only for myself but for everyone else, because I wouldn't have been so tired. I would have been putting the proper fuel in my body to actually do everything that I wanted to do and to be there for everyone. So that's I think, a really great thing for everyone to get at a young age.
Oh, absolutely. I was the same with when my children were growing up. I missed so much of their life because I was such a workaholic, and you can't get that time back. No. But on the other hand, I don't live in regret, because it is what it is, and we're all on the exact divine timing journey. But, you know, I look now at people who, you know, spend a lot, like my children are both spending a lot of time with their children, and I love that. I'm like, oh, thank goodness my habits didn't rub off. Right?
But really we're all. Remember, they chose you, and they knew you were going to be like that. Absolutely. So they got everything they required.
Absolutely.
So that's another reason not to be in regret and remorse over things that we've done. And we did the best job that we knew how to do. It's not as though we had the information like they have nowadays. Sometimes I think they have too much information.
Yeah. And do you find with the people that you're working with now that their loss or their grief has also turned their life around like it's turned yours around, or are they just in the process of doing that now?
In the process, but they are definitely seen from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And that's what I highlight. That's more than anything is what I've gained is I am open to perspectives.
Yeah.
Different, you know, there's a million ways to do anything.
Yeah.
And what we limit ourselves, like especially when I was in my corporate role, you know, like I was the fastest at doing this. Do it my way, you'll do it quicker. Like,
yep.
How disgusting is that? Why is my way the only way? Why is it the right way? why am I stifling other people's creativity?
It's such masculine energy, isn't it? It's my way or the highway.
Yes, and you hear it all the time. There's people
Yeah.
who micromanage, and you just go, "But why?"
Yeah.
There's infinite possibilities on everything.
And you know, underneath all of that, though, is the fear of losing control. And you were in that fear.
Yeah.
And anyone who micromanages is in that fear. And
Yes.
it's slowly changing, though. Society's changing, which is good. Yeah.
Slowly, you hear so many stories, you know, that it's not changing as quickly and especially, I guess, more women who are, you know, 45 plus.
Yeah.
And men too. They are very much in the fear, and because a lot of them have the belief, well, if I lose this job, I won't get another job.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? And you're going, but why?
And they just put up with it, and they're dying inside, and their health suffers. A lot of my clients are like that. They're like, how can I improve my life? I'm like, well, get out of the job that you hate. Oh, but I'd never find another one. I'm like, how do you know that?
Exactly. Well, no, my answer is with that belief, you won't.
No.
How about we change that belief? And then you may. And it is, I hear it all the time. Yeah. And you just go, there's no one. People actually know that they want your knowledge. They don't have to train people to get your knowledge.
Yeah.
And it really does come back to what you believe is what you receive.
And what you said in the beginning about, you know, ruining your health for the wealth, it's not worth it in the end. And to be in a job that you hate that's eating away at you until your retirement age, what do you do then? Sit around and just go to the doctor every day because you're so sick. It's just not worth it in the end.
No, it's not. It's truly not. And to know that all this negativity and all these worries are actually turning your cells.
Yes.
You know, when you start to visualize that cell is actually becoming diseased, because we're meant to live our life in ease, so it's becoming diseased, knowing that it starts there.
Yes.
And, you know, that's why I just love little things, like simple things like green juicing in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, I know that every cell in my body starts dancing. Here
yes.
it comes. You know, which is so simple, but it's what we require.
Absolutely.
And the more you understand that, and the more you go, wow. And I, you know, like I've liked green vegetables, but I've never really eaten a lot of them. And like, you know, the world we live in, you just juice it, you drink it, you get so many of them.
Yes.
And I remember hearing a saying a few years ago that if you're always angry, you need more green in your life. and I thought, you know what? I was always angry when I was in my corporate role.
It's all that emotion and stuff just sitting in your gut. Yeah.
Exactly. And I just thought, you're right. But then I took it one step further and I thought, green is the colour of the heart chakra.
It is.
I needed
healing.
Love.
And healing.
I needed more love in my life, not only for myself, but for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's so true. So if you don't like green juicing, just think of that. It's helping your cells.
It's very healing.
It's very healing. And it's just that simple. And start looking at green, which brings us to like nature.
And it gives you that vibrancy. It's hard to describe that energy, isn't it? But you feel more vibrant than just being the robot each day. And yeah, it's interesting. So all of your experience up till this point, though, and this is I guess another thing that a lot of people worry about if they're changing tack halfway through the race, right? It's like, well, that's been all a waste of time. But we all get to a point where everything that has come before that point is useful. And I'm really discovering that now in my life. I mean, even I keep thinking back to even when I was 16 and I used to work at the local Chinese restaurant, and how I remembered all the regulars. I knew what they had. I would order as soon as they'd pick the phone up. I'd say, "Oh, hi Rob, you're having blah blah blah." You know, my customer relations, I guess, or my energy connections with people started all the way back then. So even those things that all come together in this big pool that makes me who I am now. So your experiences in all of that corporate has also allowed you now, but on a different level, in a self-nurturing level, to really, get everything beautifully in line to help other people. And these program and
walking in a lot of people's shoes.
Yes,
I think you need the experience to understand, to really empathize with people.
Yeah,
being a book intelligence, sure, it's great, but when you experience something firsthand,
that's when you know it.
Sure, it may be slightly different to the way someone else has experienced it, but at least then you can go, well, this is what happened with me, so I can see.
Yeah.
I found this to help when I did this.
Absolutely. I'm not sure who said it, but someone did say once, you don't know something until you've experienced it.
Yeah, and it's so true. Yeah. You really don't know it. And more importantly, I feel that who I am today is a sum of all of those experiences.
Absolutely.
So without any one of them, I wouldn't be me. And I wouldn't be loving my life the way I am now.
Absolutely. And that's something also that I expect you teach the clients that you have and anybody you come in contact with. So who is it that you really love to help and to work with, and how is what's the best way for them to get in contact with you? I will have all the links are here for people to click on. So talk to us a little bit about that. If somebody's listening and they're going through some grief and whatever.
So anyone who's going through any sort of loss and they find it a little bit hard and they sort of can't see a light at the end of the tunnel, except for, oh my God, how am I going to cope with this?
Yeah.
And that's who I love to work with. So I want people, I would like to work with people who are open to different possibilities, a different perspective. No matter what has happened in your life, and no matter this loss is, you are never going to be the same again. So it's time for you to create this new normal. Yeah. And why not make this new normal bigger and better, and bring in all of your dreams, and actually let's make them become a reality. And that's what I'm about. And they can get in contact with me through my websites, which is the livelovebydesign.com website, or the karenchaston.com.au website, or they can just email me, which is karenchaston.com.au. There's so many ways. If you go to the Live Love by Design website, you can actually download a PDF copy of my book, Live Love by Design.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's the whole book. It's not an excerpt. It's
wonderful.
Really just a book that they can download, and I shouldn't say just a book. It's an amazing book.
Yes.
And it has brought all of the Live Love by Design concepts that Dan and I have created, bringing you back to all areas of your life, bringing it into the 4 pillars. It's all about you, all about your relationships, all about your expertise, and all about your wealth creation. Because at the end of the day, we want them all to be running smoothly. We want them all to be rolling along, not, one thrives and the other one declines. That's not how life works.
No.
You can't have everything running smoothly.
Absolutely. And people can connect with you here on Facebook as well if they would like to. So thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I know that there'll be a lot of people very inspired and also educated today about how they can move forward, and that there is hope, that there is something other than what they're experiencing now. And that's important for people to know, that they can move forward.
Totally. And thank you. It's been amazing, Trish. I've loved chatting with you. As always, our conversations flow so easily. And for all of your viewers, look for the gift.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a tragic event in your life, look at the gift in your life. Just look at how amazing the fact that, you know, we're all here at this time, the most information time of all time, and it's just great. Life's so easy.
Yes. Yeah. If you choose it.
Yes. It's all the perspective you choose to look at it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And thank you everybody for tuning in and listening today. Please connect with Karen, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Trish Rock TV. Bye for now.
Bye.